Hello, Michael Walsh and Roger Norgel here from Norwal Farm. Thank you for joining us today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Ring the notification bell to be alerted of any new videos. And hit the like button, that helps our channel. And if you would, please leave us a comment and share this video with a friend. Many of you will know that have been following us along that we've had some issues with the dog feeder with Champagne and Garrett. So this video is going to be an update, and hopefully I think we're coming to a point where everything's starting to work. So thanks for joining us today, and let's get started. Very first day, I've got him in this pen where the ewe lambs were, and Garrett is resource guarding. But I'm here with Champagne, and she's eating a little bit. They are deathly afraid of this feeder for some reason. So this is day one of the retraining. I'm hoping she'll figure it out. She'll eat this on the ground first. But it's a start. Garrett? Yeah, that was resource guarding there. I'm going to have to get another feeder so he can't guard both of them. That's what we're going to have to do. She was low dog on the totem pole. So Charm was number one, then Garrett, and then Champagne. So we'll have to get a second feeder, which we've got one, and I'll put it out here. She's gone right up to the feeder, but she hasn't eaten out of the feeder, so very fearful. You're just going to lift your nose about 4 inches, and there's a whole bunch of it right there for you. So close. I don't know the reason she won't eat out of that, but she'll clean up every crumb on the ground before she even considers the feeder. She's had some sort of a bad experience of some sort. And it's strange because as a puppy she learned on this. So I don't know what happened. She'll reach under the feeder, but she won't reach into it. Come on, here. Come here. Good girl. Here, here. Up here. Champagne. Retracing the old steps where it was before. That's the way dogs learn. They always go back to the behavior that was successful before, so before they learn a new one. Checking out all the old places. There you go. Good girl. This is probably the most food in one sitting that she's had in a long time, unfortunately. I know the dogs were probably beating up on her, and maybe the goats and sheep, I don't know. Because she just, this little thing moves, she jumps. And that's the way her mom was. Her mom was very timid. So that's one thing we don't like about Champagne. She's a lot like her mom. She's gone back to where it was before. Good girl. There's some up there. Huh? Right? There's some up there. You want to get some? Huh? Good girl. Are you all done? No. Gonna have to devise a way for the food to come out further on that feeder, I think. I don't know. Let's see. We've been at this about a half an hour now. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's the first she's taken from it since I don't know when. That's encouraging. Going back to baby steps. She's not as fearful. She's standing more upright. Before she was leaning backwards in a retreat stance, so she's getting a little more confident. Good girl. There's some more up here. Yeah. Take some more out of the feeder. Good girl. Good girl. Garrett. There you go. Good girl. Get some more? Huh? Good girl. Well, I think we're going to go get the other feeder and put it around the corner. Right around the corner there. That way he can't guard both of them. Got the second feeder in. It's down there where Champagne is. And when Garrett went up there, he's also afraid of the sheep. So in addition to Charm working on him, I'm thinking the goats and maybe the sheep out there butted them, and they're afraid of the livestock and they're associating that with the food. So I put a big pile out in front of each feeder, and that way each dog can eat its fill. And we'll do this for a while and then see if they will overcome their fear of the feeder. But unfortunately, I think it's going to take a while to overcome this if we can. We'll see. This is day one. Well, it's the next morning after we put the feeders up, and there's evidence that they've eaten out of both feeders. This was rounded up before, and you can see where it's kind of depressed right there. And she's acting much happier today. Same thing here. This was pretty well rounded up, and there's a little divot in the center. So I'm encouraged that they're eating out of the feeders. And we'll just take it one day at a time, but she's much happier today. Yeah, she's much happier. We put some chicken skin and broth and everything in the feeder, and they were both afraid to go up there. Now Garrett's actually eating kibble now, so for some reason they are frightened of those feeders. Champagne ate just a little bit out of it, but not much. So we're gonna start feeding them canned food in the feeders. This is about the, I don't know, 4th day since they've been in here. They're acting a lot better socially. They're playful coming up to us, but still having issues with the dog feeder. So hopefully we can get that overcome. I'm trying a new dog feeder design. It's going to be tubular. I took a 10-foot piece of 4-inch PVC, cut it in half, and then we have a 90-degree elbow and then a cap to go on top. I cut the top out of the 90-degree elbow, and that will sit on the ground. The tube will go on the top of that, and the cap goes on top. The dogs will eat off the ground, so my plan is to maybe mound the dirt up around the base of that, or maybe just let it sit like that on top of the ground and see how they do and see if they'll eat out of that. So, because both dogs are afraid of the metal feeder, so we're going to try that and see how it works. Okay, we got it set up. I got to still go get some more dog food and put in there because I just used what was in the feeders, but it looks like it's coming out on the ground, and I think they're going to use that. We'll see. They may not be hungry right now because I put some more food out for them today on the ground. We'll know if they eat on it because it will be kind of sunken down there. Garrett's going to go up. He'll probably try to cover it up. That's what they do when they don't want to eat it. They cover up the food on the ground. Yeah, he's eating. He's covering it up. But then they go back and uncover it when they're hungry. Just fine with me. They'll know where the food is. He's eating there. Good. Let's see how it works. Uncovered the food, and they're leaving it alone. But both dogs, I think, are full. I put quite a bit out on the ground before I took the other feeders out, and I think Champagne's eating to her full. But I think this is actually going to work because it's just, they get used to that white pipe being there. They'll see the dog food on the ground, and I think they'll go ahead and eat it. So we'll see tomorrow, see how it's going, and keep you posted. I'm going to modify the dog feeder. That 90-degree elbow was too big an opening. They're wasting a lot of food, and kids are helping me, obviously. So what I'm going to do is cut up maybe 2 inches on each side, and then cut across, and then I'm going to put this cap on the bottom, which I guess I have to go up higher. And then that way there'll just be a little slit there while they can reach in and eat the dog food. So we're going to try that and see how that works. So you got that cut out, and I'm going to put a couple screws in to hold that bottom on. I'm hopeful that opening's not too big. I still have too big a hole at the bottom. It probably needs to be about a ½ an inch, I'm guessing. This is my prototype, if you will. Anyway, this is our initial model, and we're modifying it and see how it works. There's enough on the ground there she's eating. So, and I think they've pretty much had their fill the last few days. They got a lot more energy, they're running and they're playing, and standing here thinking about this, I think I just need to make like a keyhole, maybe an inch wide by an inch tall, just enough for the kibble to come out just a little bit on the ground. That way they can lick it up and won't waste so much. So like I said, this is just my prototype experiment. We'll modify it as we go and hopefully get it worked out. But glad to see she's eating. Update on the dog feeding station. They've both eaten their fill, and if you look there at the base, they've got it covered up. I uncovered it, and Champagne immediately went over, didn't you? Yeah, she went over there and sniffed it and covered it back up. And then when they're hungry, they'll actually go over and paw and uncover that and eat it. So I think this is going to work well. Like I said, I want to make a smaller discharge for it so they don't waste quite so much, but they seem to be satisfied. Garrett and Champagne both cover that feeder up. They root and cover it with straw and dirt, but Garrett is up there now, and he was just pawing at it. He's picking the pieces of dog food out of what they have covered there. So I think that's going to work. They just eat a little bit whenever they want, and he's actually taking his paw. Champagne's kind of blocking it, you can't really see, But just in the last couple of minutes he went up there and he's just nibbling a bit. I uncovered it earlier. You know, there you can see him pawing there. Yeah, she's going to move. I had uncovered it earlier, and Champagne went up and covered it up again. So, see there, he's rooting and getting to the dog food. So that's the concept of the feeder. I think it's going to work for these two. You can see him pawing right there. There's just a small pile of dog food, and they just take enough till they find the dog food, and then they eat that and clean that up. So I'm very pleased to see this, and hopefully it's going to work. Second day I've seen Garrett eating at the feeder. Just laying down there, and he's eating it off the ground, which is perfect. That's what we had hoped would happen. And you can see Champagne is picking out the dog food too. So she's actually liking this feeder too. She actually took her paw and uncovered that pile of food there, and has been eating quite a bit. So I think this concept is going to work really well for both dogs. They cover it up, and then when they're hungry, they go back and uncover their stash of food. Next trick is to build a feeding station that they go in so that the sheep and goats can't get it. This is a hard plastic dish we're going to use, and I think I'm going to put it about 1.5 to 2 inches just off the bottom there. I don't know if you can see that or not. We'll just put a couple screws in there to hold it, and that will keep the food from spilling on the ground. Still be enough for the dogs to eat. So we'll give that a try and see how it works. Another modification to the dog feeder. I just cut the front of that dish off because they don't like eating on a dish. It'll go on the ground. That should work fine. So anyway, I set this gate up. Hopefully they'll crawl through to get to the food, because I want to bring some sheep down here, and we got to set up a feeding station. So we'll see how it works. I changed the setup on the dog feeder. It was over here in the corner. It had the bowl on it. We cut the bottom of the bowl off, half of it, so it just comes out on the ground. I did have it over there in the corner, but I think that, and the gate closed, that's too big of a shift for them. So we're gonna leave it here till they're eating from it. We'll gradually move it down so they're used to walking in there at the gate there, and then we'll close the gate maybe half the distance. They get used to walking in there, and then we'll close it all the way. That gate was too close, and they were afraid of it. And then right where she's standing, I went in there and laid down, and Garrett and Champagne both came in beside me, and because Champagne now likes to cuddle with me, so I laid down and she laid down right beside me. And I had spilt some dog food there when I was working on the dog feeder. So she's obviously hungry, so she's eating it there. And you can see the feeder's just around the corner here. It's not even inside where that gate is. So that's the plan. And they get used to that gate being there. Then I'll just gradually close it. And I want to make sure they're using the feeder. And I think what I'll do is, once they're using the feeder consistently, slowly move it towards the corner. And then once I get it just far enough that I can close that gate, tighter, I'll gradually close that, and then I'll shut that wooden gate all the way over, and they can reach through and still eat out of the feeder, and then just gradually move the feeder down to the corner so that they have to gradually go in there further and further. It's going to take a while, but at least she's walking up there and eating the food there. So that's the plan. It may take a while. I gotta get it. I'd like to get it done within the next 2 weeks, but I don't know, because we got sheep to come down, we got sheep to be shorn, so we'll see how it goes, but do the best we can. Well, that's the first Garrett's gone over there. See what he does. Sniffing the food. He may cover it up, I don't know. Yep, he's gonna cover it up. Good. That's what they've done in the past, and then when they're hungry, they come back and eat that. So that's a good sign. He's not hungry, and he's just covering that up. Champagne's back to not wanting to eat. We had to shut the gate, and Garrett's going in and eating food in there, so I put some out here for her and she ate, and then I put it right inside the gate, and you can see she's reaching in and eating. So and there's more food in there. She is just so timid. It's just really frustrating. We're definitely not breeding her, because this is definitely a genetic thing. Her mom was the same way, and we socialized her a lot. I mean, she grew up with the other puppies and was eating. It's just in her temperament to be very timid. So we'll continue to work with her, but I'm not sure how this is going to come out. She's got to do better. She reached through and started to crawl through, so I put some more up there, where a little trail where she has to just as you're going further and further. I don't know. She hasn't eaten probably for 2 or 3 days, and she's afraid of the ears. See what she does. If she just go in, there she goes. She got her front leg through. She just crawl in there and figure it out, I think. She's halfway in. There's a pile of food right there for her, and then there's some just beyond that. I don't know if you can see it or not. But she's afraid of the sheep. She's halfway in. Such a challenge. I had the feeding station in the corner over here with the gate, and they just weren't using it. I think Garrett was, but Champagne wasn't. So I brought the single feeding station in the field, and I remeasured it, and I had the board too close to the entrance for one dog, and then it was about an inch too low where they crawl in. So I opened that back up. Yeah. Update on Champagne and Garrett. I'm feeding her canned food, and I'm putting it inside the feeding station now. I did start with it outside, but she's getting to where she's looking forward to it, looking for it. I only give her 1 can a day. That'll keep her on the hungry side, and she can crawl in there if she would, but just one of those things. And then I'm going to pour some dry food on the ground in there next to the feeder, because next step is I'll put the canned food all the way in there, probably right on the feeder, so she has to crawl in there to get it. She's exploring. And like I say, she grew up with this feeder, and we don't know what happened. We thought her mother was not socialized as a puppy. We got her mother about the age that Champagne is now. So maybe it was a genetic thing, because we socialized her. She's very, she was handled a lot. She's used to us, and she's acting exactly the way her mother did at this age. Now, maybe it's a fear period they go through. I don't know. But based upon our observations, and we know her history, we have decided not to raise puppies from her. We feel very strongly that it's a genetic personality, just inbuilt fear, and we don't want to take a chance on raising any puppies that would have that passed on to them. Then we sell them for guardian dogs, and our customers would have to go through the same thing. So we got to get her eating in the station, both of them, because they're going to be going out on pasture here before too long. So that kind of brings you up to speed on the dog situation. She ate her canned food today, so we're going to see how this plays out. They're doing really good with the sheep. You can see that lamb there. Just Garrett likes the sheep, and Champagne tolerates them really well too. So that kind of brings you up to speed on everything. I put a generous portion of dog food there on the ground, and then I filled this back up to the top. So the sheep know it's in here, but they can't reach real far in. So that's why I put it all the way in here. And Garrett knows it's in here, so if he's hungry, and so does Champagne. So hopefully you go in there and eat that. Yeah, you're a good girl. You want to be good. You want to be good. Yeah, hey Garrett. Good boy. Good girl. So we'll see how that works. Well, I'm very surprised. Champagne just let me comb out most of her body. I kind of stopped on her tail, but she actually liked it. And all this hair is from her. And I was actually putting quite a bit of tension on it, but got her all combed out, so I think she feels a lot better. I just gave her another can of dog food, and she has to go all the way in there to get it, which you saw when she came out, she kind of jumped, but it's in there. She'll go get it. She knows she can get in there. I'm really surprised she let me brush her out as much as I did. I put some right in there on top of the kibble, so she has to go all the way in to get that. We'll see if she will or not. I think she's hungry enough. She knows it's in there, so if she wants it, she'll go in. Look who's in the feeding station. I walked down and she was eating the dry dog food. So there is hope. I'll still continue to give her some canned food in there. But we're making progress. Look at Miss Lily, or Lily, that's her mom. Champagne, she's finally decided she can crawl in there. She ate a can of food and she's eating some dry food too, so very pleased with this. That's a major milestone. It's only been all winter that we've been fighting this, so that's very encouraging. She let me comb her out the other day. I was really surprised at that. She just really loved being combed, get all that hair out of her, so that's really encouraging. Very happy.